Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a crazy 48 hours. First, I was in Paris, then I was in Nepal, and well, it's a good feeling to be back in good old Minnesota in St. Paul. You can tell behind me that I am actually right out in front of Allianz Field, the soccer stadium for the Minnesota United. I've got my Minnesota United shirt, I got my scarf, and the lead announcer for the Minnesota United, Callum Williams, has actually got me a couple press passes so I can do some touring of the stadium while we are locked down for COVID-19. Unfortunately, it's not filled with fans, but at least I'll get a little bit of a backstage look, so to speak. With that being said, I'm going to quick pause my tour here just so I can talk to you about AP European history. Now, as we talk about today and as we look at Thursday, a couple quick reminders. What we have coming up tomorrow by 11:59, you need to have photographed your study guide for chapters 22 and 24, and you need to upload that to Schoology. Remember, Schoology's been finicky. It's worked better at night, so get it uploaded sooner rather than later, and really after about 5 o'clock, it seems to be running pretty smoothly. Also, be sure to do both chapters 22 and 24 of the formative quizzes on Schoology as well. Now remember, your project is going to be due Monday morning at 7:25. And if you're kind of struggling, I've heard some people say, I'm really not sure where to start, I'm not really sure what direction to take. Mr. Paler put together this document for you that kind of helps you to walk you through kind of getting started, some things to think about. I also tell you that one of the big things to think about and one of the big resources to use is on the AP test direction. I think sometimes just remembering in how do I focus in thematically on what this project is going to look like by coming down to our resources down here as I scroll down, and in particular this AP Euro review packet. That is some really important questions. Again, because the AP test is going to be done at home, it's not going to be super specific on people. It's going to be very broad. So it's important that you're using these broad approaches, thematic approaches. What is the long-term significance of your time period? What are some of the things that mark your time period and make it significant? And then what are some examples, specific examples of that? That's going to be more important. In all honesty, because I'm giving you guys the whole week, this is probably going to be one of the larger assignments that you have this trimester, and I'm going to grade them pretty tough. So be sure that you're doing your best work on these. I will also have a Zoom as I jump back here to the daily schedule. I will also have a Zoom scheduled for tomorrow from 11 to 12. If you have any additional questions or need some more guidance, please jump on and just ask any question about how the direction of your project is going. I also have a video here for you looking at directions on how to use Explain Everything. I've actually heard from a couple people that said that they were working on their laptops, and as a result, they were able to collaborate in the cloud using Explain Everything. So in the end, just do what works for you, but be sure to get those videos exported and be sure that they're between 25 and 30 minutes total. So that's all I really have for you today. But before you go, now that I think about it, this lesson today, this was a victory. And in Minnesota United fashion, you know what we do after victories? We put our scarves up in the air and we cue Wonderwall. So, cue Wonderwall.
Wonderwall after victories.
Chat soon, Egan High School.